Welcome to Fighting Under Nothingness Proper Topics. One man's verbal journey into existential self-improvement. My name is Mark Gilliland. I'm not above gleaning wisdom from cheesy action movies. I was rewatching Vin Diesel's Triple X, and I was inspired by an act of philosophical acceptance that really spoke to me. There's a scene where Diesel wakes up in the back of a moving plane, surrounded by several other tough guys. They realize that they're all attached to parachutes that are controlled by their captors. The plane roars along the runway at full speed as the back door starts to open. A captor grins and pulls down on a lever, opening a parachute, pulling a surprised tough guy screaming out onto the tarmac at 100 miles an hour. Diesel and his companions realize that this is about to be their fate. The other tough guys start yelling, screaming, and scrabbling at the walls, trying to escape. Diesel, on the other hand, smirks at his situation, stands proudly and shouts, "I live for this shit!" Seconds later, he's violently pulled out onto the runway to find his future friction. Life often puts us in similar situations, metaphorically. One moment we're going along, doing our thing, and suddenly a situational parachute opens and pulls us out onto the runway at 100 miles an hour without any warning. Random challenge happens and we're forced to do something annoying. What I took from Diesel was the realization that it's our attitude in the first 10 seconds of any challenge that can alter everything that happens after. It's natural to complain about things you don't want to do, to lash out when faced with an unwanted burden. But it's our initial habitual emotional response that either strengthens or weakens our capacity to perceive the upcoming challenge. Anytime we complain, we're adding extra emotional challenge. We're putting walls up in front of us that we then have to climb over, unnecessarily taking longer mental journeys to get everything done. I'm not saying that your complaint isn't righteous. I'm just saying it might be inefficient. And I'm not talking about maintaining a constant positivity, because that's unrealistic. I'm just talking about the first 5 to 10 seconds of every situation. One single positive statement. Anything, as long as it's positive. Even if said sarcastically. After this one positive burst, you can be as negative as you want, if you want. The trick is in saying something positive before your mind kicks in. I call it mindless positivity. Learning to ditch petulant reactions of dislike that only make everything worse. Cutting a bad habit off at the pass. The tarmac doesn't care if you emotionally reject it. I'd go so far as to say that most difficult situations are probably unimpressed by your alternate preferences. Determinedly accepting annoying reality isn't capitulation. It's about testing the strength of your ability to choose, even when you feel your external choices are being taken away from you. You always have an internal choice, no matter what you're faced with. Our lives are full of irritating things that would be improved if we could just give them a small shot of enthusiasm right at the very beginning. So stop throwing up walls of negative emotions that you have to climb over. Stop depleting your emotional reservoir before you've even met your challenge. By learning to habitually accept your universe, everything becomes more accessible. And you don't have to agree with your situation. You don't have to like it. But you do have to accept it before you can do anything about it. The sooner you can do that, the more quickly you become useful. So, like a confident superhero, find a ridiculous verbal way to joyfully accept any challenge. Loudly, fearlessly, mindlessly. With practice, not complaining can become an unconscious habit. So, let the first words out of your mouth ridiculously accept reality. powerful words of acceptance to throw into the face of every fray. It's as easy as giving yourself a cheesy catchphrase. In the action movie of your life, practice some Zen Diesel.